Welcome to the secondary break. It is March Madness. I'm Graham Bunn, former Division I college point guard. Got my two guard, Mr. Zach Talitsky here, my brother, Carolina alum, all around amazing guy. And it's March Madness. So every time that we get to do one of these, now just like the players, this could be our last show. So it's been a crazy.
Don't say it.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
I like the outfit today. Congratulations. You know, there's a lot of Yale ties in your family. I'm gonna give you the floor. And you know, not to point it out, but I listened back and you weren't too high on Yale against Auburn, but the boys came out and man, they continue a trend of just 13 taking down 14s, huh?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. I can't believe it actually happened. The end of that game was crazy. Auburn got 4 or 5 cracks at it, and Yale had the chance to salt it away and miss some free throws. But Coach Jones and the team got it done. It's awesome. I'm happy.
Man,
for him.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing. And your son goes to Yale, so you know it's in your blood.
I mean, what makes this tournament the best sporting event in the world, in my opinion. The fact that those teams can play, and I guess like the FA Cup is sort of like that in England, where you have different people from different tiers of a sport getting pitted with one another, and every once in a while, that underdog that comes from nowhere is able to pull it off. It's just so fun to watch. It's painful if it happens to you and it's your team, but for everybody else, it's just such a cool experience.
Yeah, I'm a fairly competitive guy by nature. And, you and I we have our brackets going, and I didn't have some of these massive upsets as most people didn't. But
I had Auburn in the Final Four, so that was not good. But that tells you how good I think Auburn was, and for Yale to pull that off against that caliber of a team is incredible.
Yeah, but I was just going to say, March Madness is so much fun. And I played at a mid-major. So I saw a post-game interview with Bruce Pearl, the head coach of Auburn. He was like, look, I've been a 13 seed. I know exactly what it feels like and what it means to those programs and universities to get this win. So I want to congratulate Yale, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
When you play at a mid-major, those types of games, not that it's your national championship, but it's your national championship. Those kids will talk about that game forever. And I thought it was amazing. I didn't care. I was cheering against myself in all of like the Kentucky game. I was cheering against myself. The Yale game, I was cheering against myself.
Me too.
I did not care. I was having the best. I think I sent you a very cringy video of me celebrating when Oakland took down Kentucky. And again, if that happened to Carolina, it would take me a while. And so, who knows what's going to happen with us, and we're going to move into that game. We do play Michigan State, and you called that game. How are you feeling? They shot the ball incredibly well from 3. I think that for the most part, we've defended the 3 well in the games that we've lost. We haven't. So that was the first thing that stood out to me of like, okay, I hope this shows up on tape. They shot nearly 50% from 3. We can't allow that. The last game we lost, NC State, I think they shot 55% from the field for the game and almost 50 from 3. And Hubert mentioned it in the post game. So I think it falls right in the obvious things that we got to take care of to give ourselves a chance to win. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think all year we've hung our hat on defense, and now's the time for that's either going to carry us through or not. I mean, we know that Michigan State's going to play tough defense, and they're going to probably slow the pace a little bit, and so it's going to be a grinder of a game. And if we can't match that level of effort, they're going to come with, especially on the defensive end, it's going to be very, very tough. That said, I do think we've got more offensive firepower and more options. And I feel like if we can slow Tyson Walker down, and then Hogger down, like I feel like we have more answers. But I think those defensive matchups and who we put on them for extended minutes is going to be really interesting to watch. I don't know what you would do to match up with them.
Did you watch that game? I know that you're working. I know it's hard for someone that's responsible. It's not as hard for someone who is not. Because I was at home. I got to watch it. I pray that changes a little bit. But I watched the game, and I found myself thinking that our teams are structured very similarly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I felt like we match up well with them. But on the flip side of that coin, they match up well with us.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, with
They're deeper
Walker,
than us. They're deeper than us, which most teams are deeper than us. But I think they had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They had 9 guys in double figures. Sometimes we don't have 6 guys in double figures for minutes.
yeah. Although, if we got the type of minutes that we got, obviously from Jalen, and I didn't get to watch the game, so I'm just going off of his box score. So I don't know, maybe
Sure.
it looked different live, but 21 minutes, 16 points. It almost reminds me of that Louisville game. It's cool. I was thinking about this, like the Louisville game, right? That was his return game against his former team. And then this game, it's his first game in the NCAA tournament and back home, right? I think he went to North Mech. He's from Charlotte.
Guy. Yeah, he's a Charlotte guy.
It's just so cool. I feel like, Hubert must be doing it intentionally, like to get him extended run. And the way that he answers with those minutes is awesome. So I hope he keeps that going, because if he does and he can match up with some of that athleticism that Michigan State has, I mean, that'll really change things.
Yeah, here's the concerning thing that doesn't show up in the box score from someone who watched it. Now, again, I didn't watch it twice, which I'm going to go back and watch our game again tonight after all these other games are going on. Duke's in a heater. There's a bunch of games going on
still
right
close?
now. So, yeah, it was last time I checked, it was close. Purdue Grambling is close. Duke Vermont's a 5-point game with 12 minutes left. So watching our game, watching our game, one of the things, though, about Jalen Withers and some of the things that I walked away from that game a little bit concerned, because Michigan State played right before us and it led into our game, which was great. So I got to watch it back to back. Withers got a lot of putbacks in transition, guys missing a layup. He does a great job of hustling, being around the rim. So his stat line is a little bit misleading in that the bucket and the rebound came off of like a tip in on a fast break against a team that size-wise just had nothing for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That opportunity will obviously still be there. Transition tip-ins are always going to be there, but Michigan State does a great job on the boards. There's a focal point on boxing out. And so I think obviously Baycott ate, and he should have eaten. I don't know if they have anyone as good as Baycott on Michigan State, but Michigan State's definitely got a lot more size than our first-round matchup. So, Wagner did a great job, and credits and kudos to that program. I think they only had 7 scholarship or available guys. And so, I don't want to pour salt there. I give them all their due and all their credit. It's very hard to make the NCAA tournament as a mid-major. But the way that we handled that game, we're not going to be able to handle this next game that same way. So I hope we shoot better. I hope that we cut down on the turnovers. I'm not sure exactly what we ended up with, but there was a few bad ones.
9. Yeah, we have 9.
Okay. Yeah, that's doable. But anything in double
4.
figures.
That's unusual.
Yeah. So, we'll see. But I feel pretty good about the way we match up. Obviously, the further you advance in the tournament, you're going to face good teams. And as we've seen, even number 1 seeds over the last 2 years have not been safe. So we handled our business and we roll into a very challenging second round game. And if you're a 1 seed, guess what? They all got to play 8-9 winners.
Yeah, I mean, we got the hardest one probably. I mean, at least if you go by Ken Palm, I think they were 16th overall, which is tough for a 9 seed.
Yeah. Well, we're the 4th number 1, so
yeah. So you're going to get some of that. And they're balanced, right? 50th on offense, 6th on defense. They play this really slow tempo. But I think if we play our best and they play their best, I think we'll win the game.
Agreed.
But I think if we play one notch below them, we can't match them, good to good, best to best type of thing. I don't think we have enough separation to get through that. So, it's going to be critical from here on out, right? There's going to be nothing left from here on out where we cannot bring our best.
Yeah. Cormac Ryan shoots 2 of 6 from 3, which you can kind of live with. One of those was just a complete air ball, which was very challenging. But if you take him out of it, Ingram's 1 of 2, RJ Davis is 4 of 7. Trimble even hit 1 of 1, and Wojcik hit 1. He was 1 of 2. So the team shot very well. And this is true. Anyone that's watching this, first of all, like and subscribe if you guys are here. Appreciate you. I should have said that at the top. I'm getting new to this. We do this because we love Carolina basketball, not because we thought there'd be a big following at all. So I always get talking to, like, I always say the powers that be. I don't want to drop any names, but people are like, you have to ask people to follow the channel. I'm like, okay. If you're watching this, the point of that rant was, well, yeah, you got to make shots to win games. We do play really good defense, so we are able to withstand some poor shooting performances for stretches in a game. But nobody's winning NCAA tournament games if we have some of the games that we've had in the past, like the Georgia Tech or the Syracuse game, where our wings go, I think they were 3 of 26 or 6 of 26 or something like that. And so I'm just praying that when we get good looks, we knock them down. I have no problem if guys are not making shots highly contested off the dribble to beat the shot clock. Those are tough shots to make. But when we run our offense, Baycott gets the double, we swing it twice, and we make the other team accordion, make them touch the paint and make them spread, expand, and rotate, and we miss those open threes. That's where I start to get really nervous.
Tomorrow's going to test that because Michigan State is good enough on defense and Izzo's a great coach. And so they're going to take away or try to focus, I think, on taking away RJ and Baycott. That's what I would do if I were them.
Yeah, definitely.
And so and they're good enough that, athletically and they're, I think, going to force those other guys to beat them. And so if they don't step up tomorrow, I don't see how we win. I think it's going to be very hard for those two guys to impose their will without some help. I think getting out in transition too,
well, they run like it's going to be it's going to be in the 90s, in my opinion. Now, once, like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. So we'll see when the lights turn on exactly what happens. But just looking at both programs, it seems like it's going to be a high scoring affair.
I mean, they had, I don't know, I think their turnovers were in the teens against Mississippi State. So I didn't really watch it. So I don't know why. But if we can turn them over a little bit, and get out and get some easy ones and then, push it in the break and not have to play against half court the whole time, that'll help a ton.
I don't think we're as athletic from top to bottom as Mississippi State. So, that doesn't always lead to good defense, but a lot of times athleticism, tip balls, those types of things lend itself to higher turnovers on defense. So I think if we stay connected, like you said, and I would imagine the scout is going to matter. The one thing that I do worry about, so when I played at Bowling Green, Tom Izzo was the guest speaker at our end of year, freshman year banquet. And I remember vividly what he talked about was preparation. And he said that he prided himself on his record with more than a 2-day rest. Now, he doesn't have 2 days to prepare, but preparation is something, and the scout is something that he and his staff, I think, have always really, really done well with. I mean, there's certain games like the RJ Barrett, Zion Williamson game where, they're favored by like 9, which was a huge line in Elite 8, and they get it done. And I think a lot of it had to do was they had an amazing game plan for those two players who are really good pros. So, like you said, I think Tom Izzo and his staff is going to have the team ready to play. And I don't think the margin for error for us is very high at all.
Agreed. Yeah. And I think it'll be an interesting challenge for Hubert. He's obviously matching up against, what's considered, I think, probably in our era, one of the best tournament coaches.
Without a doubt.
And so I think it'll be interesting to watch that chess match and see how that plays out and see, what Hubert does. Both in terms, I think, personnel and who gets minutes and the matchups, with Hoggard and Walker. I think it'll be some interesting decisions. And then, what do we do to kind of switch things up on offense? Like, are we predictable, or do we keep them guessing a little bit because they're going to scout us heavily?
Yeah, for sure. I was curious, and then we'll move on, and we're going to keep this under 20 and let everybody get back to the games. I know you've been working, and hopefully you'll be able to enjoy. I'm glad you got to see the Yale game. That was super cool for our family, but specifically for you. Who do you think is going to guard Walker? Who would you put on Walker for this game?
I think that we may have to flip the minutes and play Trumbull more.
Like the Pitt game?
Yeah. And I'm fine. I mean, I'm not saying don't start Cadeau. I mean, I would put Cadeau on him and see if he can control him, or at least slow him down, stay in front. And Cadeau's had some good defensive games, so I'm not saying he can't. But then I would have a pretty quick trigger if I'm Hubert. And it looks like Walker is able to kind of get by him or get going on his own. He makes 2 or 3 plays. I'm probably going to tremble pretty quickly and see if he can do something. And then I'd probably put, Cormac on Hogger just because he's a bigger guard and I think likes to back down. And then I would think that would leave RJ on Akins.
Yeah, I mean, they play a 3-guard offense. So,
Yeah.
like I said, we match up well with them. They match up well with us. As has been the case in so many games this year, I do think Harrison Ingram can be a massive factor in this as the battle of the boards, which these programs pride themselves and stamp like, hey, we win the boards, we win the game. Harrison, that has been something that I just have been blown out of the water by his ability to rebound. And I think Baycott obviously cleans the glass as well as anybody and better than anyone that's ever played at North Carolina, but as well as anybody in the country. Harrison Ingram as a second primary rebounder of like, hey man, we need to control their second chance opportunities. We keep that low. I think we're going to be in a real nice position to win the game.
Yeah, I think the rebounding is key. I think I mentioned this on the last show, but their rebound stats aren't all that great this year. I think 145th in the country offensive, 191 in defensive. And that's been a strength for us throughout the ACC. I think we're plus 10, led the league.
Yeah.
So that's going to be huge. If we out-rebound them by 10, it's hard for me to see us losing the game.
Yeah. Also, side note, how about the ACC? You talk about ACC play. ACC's showing up again, which is nice. NC State wins. We won. Clemson won today.
I'm okay with Duke not winning. I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay giving that one up.
Yeah. If we have to give one up,
Yeah,
we have to. But the SEC, like, everybody's preaching SEC and Big 12, SEC. I mean, I think they lost 5 of their first round games. Like, unreal.
Yeah. I mean, it was Tennessee the only winner so far. I think Alabama's still to come.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Kentucky losing, Auburn losing. It's been
by far the 2 biggest upsets of the tournament so far, right?
Yeah, till Vermont, right?
Till Vermont.
All right, give me a score.
Clemson, man, they pounded them.
Yeah, Woodshed.
Yeah, Woodshed.
Woodshed. You picked that, I think. I didn't pick it.
I picked it the other way, I think. My bracket's terrible. Yeah.
So I was going to come on here and be like, "Oh, this is how we're doing." Like, I don't care. Like, it's gone.
Bad. I'm not doing well.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. And then UConn looked unbeatable, but it's okay.
The teams that maybe the non-obvious teams, I guess, that have looked really good to me. I thought Illinois looked great in the second half. I mean, they're really balanced. Like, they've got a lot of good players, and Shannon and Damask, and that Danger kid was killing it, and Coleman Hawkins. I like that team.
Yeah, well, Hawkins has been there forever. The Danger kid had a career game, which is nice, but he's capable. And then they've got another shooter that I really like. He doesn't get a lot of press.
Goody.
Yeah, I like him a lot. And two of my good friends are Illinois graduates, so I try to catch Illinois anytime I can. They do a great job of coming over and watching Carolina play when Carolina's got primetime games. So I do my best to watch Illinois and hit them up and be like, hey, so-and-so, I like this matchup. So, yeah, they look great.
Oregon impressed me too. I don't know if you watched any of that game.
I did. Unfortunately, I've watched more basketball than I probably should admit.
But that big guy Oregon has, man, that guy's, I think he was out early hurt. They're a totally different team now. I think they're dangerous. Trying to think of who else I've seen that.
Well, they won the conference tournament, right? They won the conference tournament. I mean, I think he was injured for like the first 18 games of the season or 12 games of the season, something with a knee injury. So they're a completely different team with him, and I think it's showing up now. So yeah, they're dangerous.
I feel bad. Did you see the Samford block call against Kansas at the end of that?
Unreal.
Robbery. I mean, that was terrible.
What a play by that kid.
What an incredible play. I mean, whether it's called that way or not, for the rest of that guy's life, he should show people that video because that was one of the best blocks I've ever seen in that type of moment, with that on the line, trying to upset Kansas. I mean, that was an incredible hustle play.
And he blocked Timberlake, who kind of snubbed us and went to Kansas. So I was like, oh, interesting. But
I didn't know we were in the running for him.
Yeah, we were in the running. So, but congratulations to Kansas. Obviously losing their star player before, and everybody was picking Samford in that game. I picked KU. I think KU is. I think the run ends with Gonzaga, but we'll see. All right, give me We're 20 minutes in. We're going to cut this short. Go Heels. Give me your final prediction, and one thing on your wish list. I really need us to do this, and I think the score is going to be this.
I really need us to go after the boards hard and out rebound them by 10 plus. And I think we're going to win 70-65.
Nice. All right. I need us to shoot 35 to 38% from three. And I think we're going to win by 4 points. It's going to be a lot lower than I originally said in the 90s. I don't think we get in the 90s, but I'll go 80-76. Is that what you said?
Nah, I said 70-65. I was much lower.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Yeah. I
close
think they're going to get up
close on the spread. Yeah. The line was 3.5, by the way, which is very tight for a 1-9.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tournament game. It's a second round game, and it's two juggernaut programs and a legendary coach in Tom Izzo. Hopefully Hubert Davis one day will be considered legendary, but I don't know. I just don't see it being a blowout. I hope Carolina blows them out. I hope it's done by halftime, but I think it's going to end up being about a 4 or 5 point game, 1-2 possession game, give or take, the way the ball bounces. But go Heels. Go enjoy some games. Hopefully you and I are collaborating on our next show via text tomorrow. Late afternoon for you, mid-afternoon for me.
Let's go Heels.
Go Heels.